did that, gets it right up there.
Next on deck will be a representative from the Veterans of Foreign Wars, John Trapper Schultz, if you would come up to the podium, please. As Dave mentioned earlier, John is in the running for the State Junior Vice Commander for this coming administrative year with the VFW. He's also with our Veteran Service Office, VFW Veteran Service Office in Milwaukee. He's the office manager there and a consultant, I believe, claims consultant there. Also a Vietnam veteran. I don't remember what years that you were in the Army, but you did like 28 years active duty. So I'll have him come up right now and just give a few words about the VFW, what we're doing.
Well, good afternoon. Dave, I'll tell you what, I think we can add one more thing to your resume. That's professional cat herder. You did a good job. Yes, my name is John Schultz, and yes, I am a Vietnam veteran. Yes, I did serve 28 years in the United States Army as a senior NCO. So, Dorothy, yes, there is a real Sergeant Schultz. Now you're showing your age. Because if you remember that Sergeant Schultz, you remember him talking about your age. It is a distinct honor and a distinct privilege, thank you, to be here today to address this distinguished group of veterans. It was told to me not too long ago we have too many veteran ceremonies. I said, excuse me. Every day is a day to remember veterans. No matter where they came from, what country they came from, or who they work with today. About a month ago, I had an opportunity to become involved with our Purple Heart Association on an activity called Medals Remembered. Down at the Milwaukee War Memorial, they were going to represent a lost Purple Heart to a World War II Purple Heart recipient. Now this young man back in World War II helped liberate a place called Dachau. He was a young private at that time and was wounded. And over the period of time, for some reason or another, his medal, his Purple Heart, got lost. But because it was engraved, many years later, it was able to be returned to this organization, this group, Medals Remembered. And they had a ceremony to represent his Purple Heart to him there in Milwaukee, along with a never presented Bronze Star Award. Now here's a senior gentleman about ready to be represented and a Bronze Star he never knew about at a ceremony that was tear-jerking to many of us. On the side floor, unknowns to most, were two other senior gentlemen sitting over on the side, longtime residents of the state of Wisconsin, residents of Milwaukee, and professional people who were liberated as young children from a place called Dachau. They had an opportunity to stand up and thank that young private for giving them the life and the family and the traditions that they are enjoying now because that young man was there at Dachau. Now, my point in all of this is, if we don't have more of these veteran recognition, a lot of people are not going to remember what's Dachau. Talk to your grandchildren and your children today and ask them if they know of Dachau. And they're going to look at you and say, what are you talking about? If we don't get together today, places like Pleiku, Kandun, Dachau, Phu-Bai, Phuket, LZ English, and LZ Barbara are going to fall into that same past historical record of Dachau. Let's keep this going. Let's keep it reverent. And thank you, veterans. Thank you.
Thank you, Trapper.
You get to speak. get to speak?
Yeah.
We will have VVA Chapter 5 President, I believe, Dennis Werlein. Dennis is obviously also a Vietnam veteran and was also part of the committee here to get things arranged.
Good afternoon, fellow veterans and citizens. Like Leroy said, I am the chapter president of the Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 5 in Eau Claire. And VFW, the national organization, is a group of Vietnam era veterans. It was founded in 1978 by Bobby Muller and another group of veterans out east. Bobby Muller served as their first national president. In 1980, our chapter formed here in Eau Claire. We've been around a while. VFW now has chapters, 600 chapters in all 50 states. So we're spread out pretty good. It was founded to promote dignity, respect, and pride amongst the Vietnam veteran community and to get the VA healthcare system to take care of our unique healthcare needs. In its 37 years, VVA has made great progress in its goals with the help of the VFW and Legion also. Vietnam veterans are now treated with respect and can show pride in their service. PTSD is now taken seriously thanks to the efforts of the VVA, VFW, Legion, and the other veterans, including a pilot program that was at Tacoma, Wisconsin, here, the first one in the country set up by Dr. Palmer. It was our Chapter 5 that helped keep it from being closed. Agent Warren's research and compensation for its effects on vets and their children was a high priority and the biggest accomplishment of the VVA. VVA recognizes that all men and women who served in the military during the Vietnam era are Vietnam veterans. Those who were in Vietnam know that they could not have done their job without the help of those who served in other stations. Few veterans chose where they were stationed at. Any veteran of any era, a family member, friends, anyone interested in veterans issues can join the VVA also as an associate member. It's a good way to show your respect and to help us accomplish our goals. Our next meeting for our VVA chapter is April 1st, which is the first Wednesday of each month. That's at post 7232 in Eau Claire here on Folsom Street. So all you Vietnam era veterans are welcome. We also have a newsletter and a website. If you want to pick up the newsletter, we got our booth back there and find out about the VVA and the AVVA. Okay, I'd like to thank you for letting me talk and welcome to Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day.
Thank you very much, Dennis. We do have some very active VVA organizations, not only here in the Chippewa Valley, but also here in Wisconsin too. Do a lot of good work and represent the Vietnam veterans in particular. That's their whole point, I guess. At this